Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show.
If time is money, why are you spending yours on YouTube ads?
Yeah. Good question. All right. Confirmed audio, which is good. Because, most people, I would imagine most people can't read lips, so I don't want you looking at my lips that long anyway. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays to all. Also, have a great weekend. Fun football day tomorrow. There are three football games, college football games, and two NFL football games tomorrow. So fun times. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you've got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money is the address of that. That is in the ticker below. Also, the video description. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my other financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist there and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show. That's this show playlist. And today is number 442 of those, so plenty extra listening of me. You can listen all night. You can turn it on to go to bed by. Sometimes some people have said that my voice does put them to sleep, so that's acceptable for me. Answering your financial questions. I used to do that stream every weekend. That's currently on hiatus. I may still occasionally do a weekend show or two, but for the time being, since I'm able to do an after show every single weekday, which I will also be doing next week when the Ramsey Show is all replays, even on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. I'll still be doing those unless I'm invited to a friend or family member's house or to some other event. If I'm at home, I'll be doing the show. I'll be streaming. And the music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Please check those out if you're so inclined. Singing is not my regular job, so don't judge it on that. Judge it by the words, and you might like the words. And then that way, when you hear Love Yourself by Justin Bieber, you'll think of my lyrics instead of the actual ones. Fun times. That has happened. People have told me that has happened. Market report. Well, if it'll scroll all the way up, there we go. Interesting day in the market. Let's use the Dow. Since the Dow is up the most today, we'll use the Dow as the, actually the Dow is better off than the other indices or indexes. You can say either. So that was basically open down and was just down for a little while, and the rest of the time was up, and then pretty much stayed there and only dropped a little bit at the end. But whereas the S&P 500, that only did the same thing. All right, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Maybe the NASDAQ. I think I only looked at the NASDAQ, but that's what happened first. Okay, I didn't remember it going up that early again to start to recover and go that up. But so it was 10:25 a.m. Eastern time before it got to yesterday's close. So, okay, I thought it had stayed lower than that, but the fact that it was lower and then went higher, and then at the end of the day came down a little bit, but it looks like NASDAQ trying to go up a little bit at the very end of the day. But that was still good enough to be over 1%. And Russell Small Cap Index, not quite 1%. It's going to be basically the same, except that, no, that's the same thing. It started low. And but the on the Dow, is that a new record? Let's see. No. Down in the last 5 days, down in the last month. Okay, so that's not a new high for that. Dow has been losing the past few days of this week. See what else we want to talk about here. Let's check out the rest of the planet. Mostly down in Europe, all down in Asia. US dollar down to the euro, down to the yen, down to the British pound loaf, down to the Canadian dollar, and down to the Australian dollar, which I have noticed that, and I say this all the time. I probably should stop saying it, but when the market is up, generally, the dollar has a better chance of being down, at least to some of the countries. But today, of course, a clean sweep against the rest of the world. Oh, let's see. No earnings for the next 14 days. So I guess we're done until the new year for earnings report. Let's see. Down today, we have Microsoft, Meta, and the Tesla. And again, 3.46 down. Generally, generally it's like 2% or less up or down for most of these most followed single stocks. But I guess I could stop doing that so you could read it for a second. But the Tesla tends to be over, like every single day seems to be over 2%, either up or down, mostly. Let's see, what kind of news do we have? Party City going out of business. So if you have a lot of parties, wait till they start marking things down and buy stuff from them, unless they're liquidating to some other party place. Like, where would that be? Where could you get that stuff? Hallmark shop, or Hobby Lobby might have party stuff as well. As you can tell, I don't throw that many. This is from CNBC. The CFPB, which is what? The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, on Friday sues JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo over Zelle payment fraud. Sued the operator of the Zelle payments network and the 3 U.S. banks that dominate probably. CNBC, I am available for proofreading. If you would like to pay me a lot of money to do that remotely, I'll be more than happy to do that for you. Because you're doing it wrong. It's not that dominant transactions on it. That dominate is the correct word you're looking for. Let's see. So that dominate transactions on it. Okay. With those 3 banks. Let's see. The agency alleges that the firms failed to properly investigate fraud complaints or give victims reimbursements. Yeah, I mean, because that happens quite a bit on there, where like people will just send, they'll see something on Facebook Live or Facebook Marketplace, not Facebook Live, that's a different thing. On the Facebook Marketplace or something like that, they'll see it, and then they will send people money and then never get anything. So that's not the whole idea, as I understand it, behind the Facebook Marketplace. The whole idea would be that it would be from somebody in your city, and you would meet them for a exchange of money and goods for that. So you should never just send if there's not a company, and you can still get scammed if it's a company too, if it's like a company website. But if it's just some person just advertising that they have something, and I got so many calls for that when I worked at a bank call center, that They saw something on Facebook Marketplace and they just sent the money and expected to get the thing. And, mostly older people as well. Zelle said in a statement Friday that it was prepared to defend itself against this meritless lawsuit. And that's what you say, regardless of whether you're prepared or not, because you will be by the time where you have to defend yourself. You'll come up with something. I don't know what the owner of Zelle is, the operator. I don't know if that's a parent company of some type. Let's see if it'll say. Yeah, I thought it was some banks that actually started it. Like multiple banks together had started it, and then it got bigger. Glaring flaws. The vast majority of Zelle activity is uneventful. I've never used it. I have used CashApp, no problems. Of the $806 billion that flowed across the network last year, only 166 million in transactions was disputed as fraud by customers of JP Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. The bank I worked at did have a rather small limit on it, so you're not gonna be doing, I think it was like I want to say maybe $50 a day, something like that. I can't. Oh yeah, I can't remember now. It wasn't that much. Maybe it was $200 a day, and $50 is the maximum of each transaction. So a lot of people are like, oh, I got to do more than one transaction, and they put a limit on transactions as well. And what they're trying to keep, this fraud down by doing that. But I don't know if other banks had that same kind of thing in place. I'm just trying to see if it's Early Warning Services said in a statement Friday that was prepared to defend itself. Early Warning Services, is that who is operating it? I don't know. So not really that important as far as who operates it, but I kind of thought that, and maybe it's these three banks that did get together and started it. Possibly. See what else is going on. Stock market today. Dow Jones soars. A Speaker Johnson eyes bill split to avoid a shutdown. Okay. I guess if you're having a problem with a bill, because how the government do take a bite, don't she? I should get that clip on here so I can run that. But how it works is they have a bill and they base it on something that you would think would be a no-brainer, like avoiding the government shutdown, general spending bill in order to avoid the shutdown, like to fund the payroll. But the problem with the government and the Congress is that they get a bill and then all of a sudden people start throwing their little extra crap into it. And so, I get it for time, why you would want to do that. But the problem is when you do that, a lot of people that we elect to Congress do not read every single page of that. And so that could be something that even they would not vote for if they knew was in there, but they just don't know. So it'd be better to just do everything by itself. Granted, that's going to take longer. And so, hey, I got a great idea. Maybe you don't have that many bills doing this, and this, and this. Maybe you put out of it, some of the stuff that's going on in the United States. And maybe you let states deal with some of it and cities deal with some things. So that's the dealio on that, though. But if you split the bill, meaning you take the problem stuff out of it so it will pass, then that could get that to go. And I guess because of people, I don't know necessarily why they'd be worried about a government shutdown, why the market would go down. I don't recall that being a thing in previous government shutdowns. But I could also just not be remembering. Who knows? Let's answer some questions after I check on the chat. Dr. Science. Dr. Science, we thought you got lost in the Himalayas or something. Mila's, what up? Sid, what up? Joy doesn't watch football until we get into the playoffs. Who is we, Joy? Because you sound like you're expecting playoffs all the time, and that doesn't really happen that much. I mean, unless you're one of a handful of college teams or a handful of NFL teams. Live in Miami, but not Michigan, but not a Lions fan. Packers, but got to root for Lions this year. Yeah, Lions do seem to be one of the better teams for sure. Michael's Arts and Crafts is what Magical Elixir said about Party City, so they could maybe make it, some kind of deal with them as they liquidate. Dr. Science been busy doing something. Too busy to come by my stream. That's okay. I'm not upset about that. Bad acting 101 there. Let's see. Strong AF. Doist. Okay. I'm a little frustrated about the whole zero credit score thing and how confident the personalities are that your score will disappear within 18 months. And if not, you're doing something wrong. All right. Well, generally that is what would happen, but it doesn't matter. Because you can just have, if it's about buying a house, you can just have them do manual underwriting and then they don't consider the score. My fiance's score is about 640, and looking at real estate in our area, it doesn't affect the interest rate too much if we were to use his score. Okay, what's the problem? I'm not exactly sure how that process works. Whose score is checked for a mortgage? Well, if you're both on it, they would probably check both. My score is 720 and we will be married on Friday. Okay. I mean, you can ask your realtor about that or ask the lender about that. And then you'll know ahead of time. Checked his credit report multiple times to make sure that all of his accounts are closed because he doesn't currently have any debt and everything has been closed since at least 2021. Okay. It depends on when and what the financial institutions report. See what else is going on here. Doesn't have any bad remarks on the report. Everything was paid on time and there were either zero balances or zero activity on his accounts for an extended period of time before each account was closed. Okay. Well, that could be it as well. So just because you don't use it doesn't mean that automatically gets reported the same as closed. So that could be because it was open, that could have delayed the process. So, and of course the advice is always to pay them off and you close them immediately. I just don't understand how it's been almost 4 years and he still has a score. That is an outlier case for sure, I would think. But if he left them open for years, if he left them open for 3 years and then just closed them 1 year ago, then hasn't been 18 months, has it? People always complain about stuff when it's their fault. Let's see, even though I've double and triple checked on his report, and I can't say that's for sure the case, but that's what it is sounding like. That's as good of a reason as any that this happened. At this point, it doesn't feel possible to get a mortgage with a zero credit score even after I'm out of debt because his score has yet to disappear. Well, you can't because you're doing it too early, obviously. So, I mean, you can try to get it in, on just your name. I wouldn't advise it though. But you talk to your lender in advance about that and tell them what's going on and ask them what your best option would be, because I assure you they want to lend you the money. I assure you that they do, because they be wanting that interest. Let's see. Too long didn't read. Finance still has a 640 credit score, even though all of his accounts have been closed for three. Oh, they've been closed for 3+ years. You're sure? No negative mark. Not sure how getting a 0 credit score mortgage is possible. Even if you have a credit score, you can ask for manual underwriting, and they can use manual underwriting as the uh, thing for it. But if you have a bad credit score, which 640 is not, sucky, I wouldn't think. It's not as good as yours, but, wah. And of course, lock post again. Must have got contentious in there. So a lot of comments still there that were there, but locked to future comments. There must have been somebody must have started calling somebody names or something. So yeah, I don't get that. But you ask the lender what the best thing to do is, and if you can't buy a house right now, you got to accept the reality of that. Twitchy Punk inherited a house. So I recently inherited a house and 2 acres of land in southern Alabama. And I'm moving into it in April. I've never owned any property or anything besides a car. Congratulations. I was wondering what advice y'all would give me since I don't know anything about property taxes. The house is from 1943. So I don't know if that helps with any information for taxes and such. No, I mean, it's possible that it would be worth less because of that. Might be worth more because of that. You never know. Don't know what upgrades have been done since 1943 as well. Currently in step 2 of the baby steps and only have around $6,000 to go from $17,000 to pay off debt. Or 6,000 is what you have. Thank you for taking the time to read this and help. I don't think like when you buy a house, you will only have to pay taxes. You can do like monthly tax payments on that. If you need to, you could do that. Theoretically, you would get a break on the cost if you paid 6 months in advance. So is that the problem? I don't know what the problem is here on the property taxes. No, I don't know. So I mean, you can talk to your city about that, the city offices, and they'll be able to tell you all about that, what it is, and when it's due, etc., etc., etc. And assuming that that house is paid off since 1943, if that's one owner, I hope it's paid off. Maybe it was paid off from the very beginning. That would be the best case scenario. How do people date 7 years before getting married? They weren't in a hurry, Milas. Isn't the excitement of playing house the point of getting married? Maybe it's an American thing. Oh, not just American. Mila says, Sydney, it's common in the UK, the bloody UK, to not get married because of government bennies. Sid continues, American pop culture is afraid of commitment or looking like you actually care about anything because caring means vulnerability and that's not cool. Yeah, you can never doubt people's, just human in general, their ability to be nutty and to do nutty behavior. Like Mila, that reminds me of the lady that was that a call in? Yeah, that was a call in where her husband was spoiled. It's like, okay, well, so you didn't meet him until you got married, till the day you got married? You didn't meet him until then? Because generally, if you met him, unless he was specifically trying to hide that kind of activity from you, that kind of behavior from you, then you already knew it, and yet you married him anyway. So, it also said that she, I guess, admitted that she has a problem having boundaries. And so the boundary would be like, hey, you're not going to be spoiled if you want to be with me, is what it would be. So, yeah, people are just nutty. What up, Jack? Sid doesn't think it's ethical to not get married in order to get government benefit, but it's not her place to judge others who do that. No, no judging. You can still have your opinion. I am excellent, Jack. How are you? Mila's listening to Ramsey Network. Cheating on me, Mila. How dare you? And one of the callers was just proposed to after 7 years, and her reasoning was she was in school and he working. Yeah, see, people also get that in their head about, well, it's got to be this exact situation because we don't want to get married until we can have $100,000 wedding, that kind of thing as well. And they're waiting for this perfect time to get married. They have that in their head sometimes. And Mila would be out from that. Oh, I'm on too. All right. I guess it counts if I'm on too. Thanks, Mila. Jack will be done with baby step 1 next month. Excellent. You start the year off right. Rocket Song 1. Traditional IRA to reduce. Oh, what is that called? Oh gosh. Adjusted gross income. What is the M? Sid, what's the M? Do you know? Let's see, we haven't funded the IRAs yet for the year. Generally, you don't worry about dumb crap like this. Because it's not going to make that much of a difference generally for your taxes. If you're trying to save $20 of taxes by doing $50 of paperwork, that's a no. That's a net loss there. Let's see. Normally we do Roth, since after my work retirement plan, deductions and the standard deduction, we're reasonably within the 12% bracket as long as I don't harvest too much cap gains from the brokerage. Okay, well, that's your fault for doing that crap. If you're doing withdrawals and stuff like that, that's your dumbass fault. Shouldn't be doing any of that. Shouldn't be using the market for a piggy bank unless you don't need to be taking out gains every single year on it. And you wouldn't be doing that anyway because that money wouldn't be invested. It would be in the, you would apply it to whatever baby step you're on. Let's see, but it appears that under the new rules, American Recovery Plan, okay, you no longer have to add traditional IRA contributions back into your adjusted gross income. I don't know what the M is. Let's see. The M doesn't stand for Mila on that. Oh, said it is ordered to nap, so she can't give me an answer on that. So I guess I'll have to Google it. Is it M, adjusted gross income? That would be the biblical magi. Nope, that's not it. Modified adjusted gross income. Okay, so isn't modified and adjusted the same thing? The answer is yes. So I don't know why you need to get all like that, but let's see. Anyway, what else? So you no longer have to add traditional IRAs back into your oh, I see. If so, that's a potential large tax savings on Form 8962. No, it's not. No, it's not either. So dumb. Let me finish it up and then I'll get into it. Last year, I ended up owing around $5K because of our stupid ACA plan Affordable Care Act. What am I missing? We are baby step 7, but render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and not one thin dime more. Sure, but the problem is what you're doing here is you're trying to do like by having you're trying to all of a sudden do a traditional IRA just because that's an you be tax exempt on that. But guess what? What if you put that in the traditional, then you're not getting the tax-free growth on the Roth IRA either. And so it's the same thing about just trying to do, like if you try to keep your mortgage because you can write off the interest and then get a small percentage off of the interest. So you're not getting it off of every dollar in the payment. You're getting it off of the interest only. And then it's only a percentage of the interest as well. And like, they say, it's like a penny on a dollar. So you're keeping a dollar in debt on the mortgage to get back pennies. So that's probably what this is here. I mean, if you can figure it out and it's legal and that saves you a penny if you want to go through the trouble of doing it, I personally don't think it's worth the trouble. But you certainly can. And in baby step 7, you don't have anything else to worry about. So you got time on your hands, apparently, to do this stuff. Also, you don't have to have a stupid ACA plan. You could get private health insurance instead. You don't have to do that, so you did that to yourself. SD4WN. Car maintenance sinking fund. How much should my car maintenance repair sinking fund have in it? I think I've done this one. They might have switched places. They do that sometimes. They'll be on the same day, but they'll switch order. Let's see. How much should it be in it? As little as possible. Should stop contributing to it at about $2,000. So sinking funds are for known upcoming expenses. So you wouldn't have in a sinking fund money for engine replacement if there's nothing wrong with your engine today. You wouldn't have that in there. Same for home repairs. Again, you don't look for problems. If you know there's something, if you like the oil change, you know it's going to get the oil change be done. And if you can't just cash flow that, if you got to do a sinking fund for it, go ahead. But you know that's coming around, every 3 months or every 8 years, however often some of you people change oil. You know that is coming up and you will have to do that. So sinking fund is fine for that. But the sinking fund is not for things that might happen. That's not what the sinking fund is for. The money that goes to that you were going to try to put in there should be going to the baby steps instead of towards things that might happen. Repairs are so expensive nowadays. Sure, I don't want to save too much in each category, but I also don't want to be short of if a large repair pops up. Too bad. Your money's not unlimited. So to get yourself in the best situation, you are applying the majority of your money to the baby steps, and that gets you in a better spot so you can handle it if a expensive repair shows up. So, and that's why you get out of debt. And so instead of saving for a possible engine blow up, you're putting that money on debt so you don't have any debt, so that you would then be able to have the full emergency fund after that, and then you'd be much more able to handle a blown up engine at that point. So that's the reasoning on that. Athena HXC, sorry, ran the 2024 numbers. Okay, great. Paid off 51.69% of my debt this year. Fabulous. So that would be over half for you people that can't do math. All credit card debt gone. Fabulous. Net worth, tax advantage, retirement went up greater than 500%. Yep. Market has been incredibly up the past 2 years for sure. And if yours haven't, which some people in the Ramsey Show chat keep saying their investments aren't up, then those are crappy investments and you need to change those because those suck. Because the market has been incredibly up in the past 2 years. Maybe step 3 flare, so you're not on baby step 3 if you only paid off 51.69% of your debt in 2024, unless that's all that was left. So you're phrasing it wrong if that was the case. So that would be, I paid off 51.69% of my debt, which was the only debt remaining, would have been how you could have, one way to phrase that. But so unless you accidentally pick the baby step 3 flare, I don't like to talk about my flare. That's from the movie Office Space. So because I was going to ask about net worth, because net worth, hey, guess what you got to do with that? You got to subtract your liabilities, meaning your debt too. So I mean, it's great that you paid that much off, even if that's only the first 51.69% and you still have 48 something left to go. Didn't feel like doing the math. Or if you're completely out of debt now and you actually are on step 3. So hopefully it's not a person that somehow thinks you're supposed to do 2 and 3 at the same time. I don't know. Don't know. Not surprised by anything anymore with the baby steps. Aviator 9, 34 years old, not married. I'm sure a catch. Though, 78K per year, only 20K in company, 401K. Okay. Paying in only what they will match. Jeep paid for, just inherited a nice house, only pay tax and insurance. Have 80K student debt, but no other real bills or burden. What should I be doing? It's called the baby steps, and I happen to have it right here because I scrolled it up for the last question. Roll it back down just a little bit. So I guess I could check. Yeah, that's close enough. So my webcam frame is not covering it. But yeah, the baby steps right here. And so what is it that you wouldn't understand about this? I mean, maybe new to Ramsey, maybe not didn't know he's the no debt guy and think, well, that's got to be pretty high on the list of things to do first, I would imagine. So what you would do, you would stop investing while you pay off that $80,000 student loan debt. If you have any savings, you take that down to $1,000, and $1,000 is all you have in savings as a starter emergency fund while you pay off that debt. Let's see. Oh, there's more. And I thought this was the whole thing, but no. Let's see. All these posts about high yield savings account pays this, interest rates that are just hurting my brain. The stickies are without real direction for specifics. Situations like mine. This is not a specific situation. So many people don't have a lot in the 401k, and they have $80,000 in student loan debt and a paid off car. You're not special. Sorry. For specific situations like mine. So if they read the stickies and the sticky says do the baby steps and that's not good enough for you, then I don't know what to tell you. You're not special. You're not the exception to the baby steps. That's a no. That's dumb as crap. I want to be making the best possible moves. Any advice? Yes, do the baby steps. 30 years. Dave has been doing this. Millions of documented success stories, but you don't like it, it sounds like. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the stickies say, but I would assume that they say do the baby steps, I would imagine. And so, but people a lot of times want it to be they want to be talked to about their little specific situation. People have asked about that in the Ramsey show chat. They want specific information for saying if you don't live in the United States, if you're old, they want a different set of advice. And it's all the same advice for anybody, always. The steps are the same. The steps don't change. I mean, even if you don't have to pay for college, if your college is free in your country, then you just skip the thing. You don't, there's not change. You just skip what doesn't apply. Same thing as if you decide to never buy a house. If you're only going to rent forever and ever, congratulations, you get to skip step 6. So I don't know exactly what's going on here. And I may be too harsh on Aviator 9 because I don't know what the stickies say. Maybe they're not that straightforward as to say just do the baby steps. But if they do just say do the baby steps, then that's exactly what this person should be doing. You would take any savings you have, you would take that down to $1,000 left, and you would apply every single other cent to the $80,000 student loan debt. And then when you get done with that $80,000 student loan debt, you would do your full emergency fund next. It's the baby steps, and that's what you would do. There's no high yield savings account involved at this point. There's nothing like that involved at this point while you still have student loan debt. That's a no. So doesn't understand. There are 36 comments though, so hopefully somebody straightened that person out. Peep Trey, should I pay off my mortgage? The answer is yes. What up, AJ? Sid has not gotten to nap yet. Bad Sid. Heather and Marshall. Marshall was in yesterday. Heather, it's been a while, I think. Been a week or so. What up, AJ? Starting the weekend off right is AJ. Starting a fire in the backyard and starting to grill. And he'll be watching his Texans play the Chiefs tomorrow night in one of those aforementioned NFL games. And Jack wanted to know what was on the grill, and AJ said bacon wrapped pork tenderloin. Meat. And Mila said we on our way. I'm sure it's great. I'm not driving all that way, though. Oh, and AJ said there's enough for all. That's good to make extra. Mila says, if all these Reddit peeps listen to Papa Dave's show and Steve's show, they'd know what to do. Most of them, yeah, but unfortunately, some people say they listen to the show every day, and it's like they have no idea. It's like, hey, well, I listen to the show every day. Longtime fan, the long time listener, first time caller, Dave, and I love your show. It is awesome. I've listened every day for 5 years. Should I take out a loan? Dumb. They're too in their own heads about their own little situation and what they want to do, and they can't apply these concrete steps to their little thing because it doesn't fit into their little thing because they're doing it wrong. But yes, you should pay off your mortgage. Let's see. I'm 28 years old and bought a house back in March 2024. Permanently, my stock shot up over 250% this year. That's quite a gain. If they are not in a tax advantage retirement account, if they are just in a brokerage account, yes, the advice is to sell single stocks to pay off your house or put towards whatever other baby step you're on. I have 15K in a simple IRA through my job that you would not touch. 12K in a Roth IRA I set up myself that you would not touch because of the penalties. There's no penalties on the brokerage accounts other than taxes on the gains. 13K in my checking account and 100K in stocks. Should I sell my stocks and pay out the house? Yes. Unless you are in a lower baby step than baby step 6. If you have other debt, you would pay that other debt off first. Here's the kicker. My interest rate is 8.5%. I know, it hurts. Yep, bought the house for 110K and put 25K down. My mortgage is around 80K right now. Hey, guess what? You know what will happen? Guess what will happen? If you take out 80K of those stocks and you pay that mortgage out, then your interest rate will be 0.0%. What is it that you don't understand? And so we're not doing debt leverage in order to keep those stocks and have a mortgage still around. That's debt leverage. We're not doing that. We don't advise that. Let's see. No one, 1951. So basically the deal is on this and a lot of Ramsey stuff. If you are only using the numbers on the calculator to decide what to do, then a lot of the Ramsey advice isn't going to be for you. If you're going to go by what the numbers on the calculator say, a lot of it you're not going to like. And so you should probably just do your own thing. No one, 1959, 457B, options and require withdrawals. I think that's basically the 457B is a government, like teachers have that. A government 401k, basically. 64, single, good health, retired 5 years ago, living on my government pension and Social Security. Only debt is house payment, $950 per month. Income is about $6,000 after taxes. 457B with about 70,000 in it, and I think I must start taking money out at some point. 70 years old. I don't know off the top of my head on that. I don't know if that's any different than a 401k. Money went in pre-tax, right? Is there any place I can move it to without paying taxes or penalties? You would have to put it to something and move it to something else that's pre-tax. So you would on contribution. So that you definitely would have to put it in, you would have to pay taxes on the growth. And to move it, you might have to pay taxes on the growth till now. It's possible. I don't need the money to live right now. My house is 2.5%, 130K. Payment is $950. 64. If you can withdraw it, you should withdraw it and pay off the house. I usually add another $350 to principal. Okay. I don't see a reason to pay it off at this rate. It would be so that it's paid off. And that's the Ramsey advice, not to have extra money in savings or in retirement. So you got 6K coming in, and that 457B has 70,000 in there. If 6K can sustain you for the rest of your life per month, then you should pay out the house, and then you don't have to do that house payment anymore. Let's say, don't see a reason to, yeah, because you're thinking like normal people. You're so normal. My savings account is currently paying almost 5%. I have 30K in there and another 30K in a tax-free investment fund. I also have a trust. Yeah, so I would pay out the house. Just get you know, if you have a trust, then probably you have a financial advisor. So ask your financial advisor that can advise you based specifically on your stuff and what would be the best thing to liquidate to pay off the house, and then you don't have that mortgage anymore. And then your retirement goes much better when you're not making a mortgage payment anymore. Ali Leia, living outside the U.S. to save money. Okay, wouldn't be my first choice, but you know, if that's your thing, go ahead. Hi, that's a good idea. I'll be staying in the in Netherlands, not the Netherlands. Thought it was the Netherlands, for 3 months to help my sister. I already promised my kid a birthday in the Philippines, so I thought I might as well travel for a year and rent out of my house. All right, so justification station here. Um, 3 months to help my sister, and then a birthday in the Philippines. So that's what, 3 months and a week, and all of a sudden that means the whole year. That means you have to travel the whole year and rent out my house. You won't be there, so you can't manage that rental. So you'll have to pay somebody to manage it for you, unless you think everything is magically going to take care of itself. People are nutty. I'll be able to save at least $25,000 doing this. Traveling costs money. Did you deduct the traveling expenses, food expenses, etc., etc.? Not including income from renting the house, if you get it, if they don't destroy the house, if, depending on how much the management company cost you, or any side hustle I may do, justification station, all over the place here. I get disability pay from the VA and get paid to go to school. How are you going to school then? Is that online? How are you going to school during this year of travel? Most savings will come because I don't have to pay for a place to stay. Okay. Where are you going to stay? Stay with your sister there, well, for that 3 months, and then what after that? Do you know people in the Philippines that you can say, you know? So I got all kinds of questions for this person. But I still need to verify all the legalities. Yeah, why don't you do that? I would do that before even posting this crap in here. But before I call embassies and all that, yeah, I mean, you know, calling embassies might not be the easiest thing to do, although I did. I had to when I was looking for my stuff for my passport. So I had to call embassies, but it was fine. I want to make sure this is a good idea. Actually, I emailed him. Got a response really quickly. I didn't call. Is there anything I might be overlooking? Is this against Ramsey principles? I'll be in baby step 4, 5, and 6 when I do this. So no, not really. I'm just wondering about how smart it is to do. And I mean, you might have the right answers for everything. And if you have the right answers for everything, knock yourself out. But yeah, so I mean, if you're on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you can. But also, the problem also is you're involving all of a sudden becoming a landlord when you haven't been one before, presumably. Could be, we don't know, you didn't say. So we're going to assume not. And so all of a sudden, because you want to travel for a year, all of a sudden you're a landlord. And so that doesn't always work out well. And you could end up losing money over the long haul of that. Over that year, you never know what might happen to your house. You never know when maybe the people in there were the wrong people to be put in there and they don't pay. Any number of things could happen. So let's see what else is going on here. Oh, let's see. Now that but when I do this, second question, I've been thinking of selling my house. Do that. Reason is I hate everything about it. Do that. Don't become a landlord because you hate your house. Just sell it. Renovations will take me years. Don't do that. Sell it. It's also too big for just me and my child. Sell it. Cleaning takes me up to a week due to chronic pain. Sell it. You have to clean the new house anywhere too, or wherever else you live. You have to. I have $310,000 left in my mortgage. That's a lot of money to be owing still. Sell it. A smaller one in my neighborhood was bought at $470. Should I sell it before or after the 1 year travel? Before. Sell it before. Then you don't have to be worried about being a landlord during that time. I'll profit about $500 a month from it if you don't have any problems. See, the problem here is everybody starts thinking, oh, I'll be profiting $500 a month. Hey, what about that? I'll be getting $500 a month if nothing goes wrong. If stuff goes wrong, you won't be making $500 a month. And guess what? If you sell it, you will get that money, because you will get all that money all together, not at $500 a month. So people are nutty with always wanting to be landlords. I mean, and I'm sure a lot of them can make money. Mr. Ramsey makes a ton of money from being a landlord, from his real estate business. He makes a ton of money. He grew up in it, though. He knows all about it. And he didn't all of a sudden decide to do that because he hated the house or because he wanted to travel for a year. That's not why he became a landlord. He became a landlord because he likes that business, or at least knows a lot about it. I'm assuming he likes it. At this point, he would have to like it to keep doing it. Let's see. Currently has a 2.2 interest rate, so I'm hesitant. Don't let the interest rate determine the rest of your life. Don't do that. Especially on a house you hate. That is so dumb. Profit from selling will be used to buy a smaller house in 2026 or 2027. Thanks in advance. Okay, so not enough time to put in the market, but you can put in a high yield savings account and get, around 5%, 4-point-something%. Edit, and sorry for any confusion, not used to posting. VA is Veteran Affairs Disability Pay is tax-free. Yeah, I knew that already. Let's see what else. I'll be back in school next month to finish my bachelor's. Oh, so you're gonna finish school before the vacation? Okay, this does answer some of my questions. Get a separate pay for that as part of my service too. Already factored in this if this is good for my child, so I thought finances are next check on. All right, well, whether you think it'll be good for your child or not, don't know if the child would be better off staying in the United States for that year. Obviously you would have to as well, but I mean, probably children are resilient, so probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, it doesn't hurt to be exposed to different cultures and so forth. That generally doesn't hurt either. So probably fine. And you're the parent, so you would be the one that gets to decide that. Then verifying numbers and legal stuff. When I did my calculations, the VA hadn't announced the new VA pay increases because it increases annually. So I thought to verify numbers once it's announced. Yeah, I don't think that the numbers aren't the problem. Your problem is, your main problem, I think, more so than the travel. I would put the travel at the number 2 and say, do you really need to turn 3 months being in the Netherlands helping your sister and 1 week in the Philippines for birthday for your child, turning that into a year-long travel vacation, if that needs to happen. But even more so now, the big problem for me is you being a landlord all of a sudden, just because you hate the house and just because you're going to be traveling supposedly for a year. Fun times. Good question. Mila has multiple buildings on one property. Macaroons. Candles. Just reading in the chat. Thanks for watching, guys. Whether you're watching right now live or later. Oh, let's check the weather. How about we check the weather? Because I might possibly, leaning towards not though, leaning towards maybe doing it Christmas Eve, towards doing a live stream from my phone, showing the decorations at Easton Town Center. Rain and snow beginning in the late morning. Oh, they moved it? Because that didn't happen. Let's see here. 7 o'clock snow, 8 snow. So I might. It would be soon though. It would be somewhere around probably, what time is it now? 6:25. It would be like probably around 8 o'clock is when I would start streaming. Let's look at the weather here. Yeah, see, the problem is it was supposed to start with rain, and I don't know if that happened since I started the stream. It wasn't raining when I started the stream. So I don't know. Let's see. So it looks like if there's going to be snow. Oh, it might be raining on the on Christmas Eve. That would be a shame. Looks like going to be a little warmer there for starting on Christmas week here. All right, high of 57 on the 28th. Very nice. Yeah, so maybe I won't wait until Christmas Eve. Maybe I'll do it one of these weekend nights here, or on Monday night. It wouldn't be as cold. So and definitely want to go at night because lights look better in the dark, which is why have it so dark in here. All right, fun time. So probably not going to do that tonight, but of course, if you miss it live, it'll be up for watching later. Jack, I like the lights and decorations. Thank you so much. I did not see your question, sir. I'm so sorry. Let me run back for it. Boop, boop, boop. That's why I need an assistant to point questions out to me. Check. Start typing it again, Jack, if you don't mind. Oh, there it is. I got you. Never mind. So after baby step 1, I can go to baby step 3 if you don't have any debt. If you have no debt, yeah, you're on baby step 3. Basically, you can, it's just like starting with baby step 3, and your baby step 1 is the first $1,000 of your baby step 3 of your full emergency fund. Also, does baby step 1 and baby step 3 money go into the same account? Yeah, it does. Not two different things. Your starter emergency fund of $1,000 is now increasing to be, and it doesn't say that on the Ramsey version of it. It just says save $1,000 for starter emergency fund, and step 3 is save 36 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. And the way it's worded here, a lot of people do get confused and think it has to be two different things. Or they need an extra $1,000 in addition to the 3 to 6 months of expenses. But here on the Reddit, they have changed the wording to say grow your $1,000 savings into 3 to 6 months of living expenses, and that's your fully funded emergency fund. So yeah. Scroll to the bottom. Yeah, I found it. I found it finally. I don't know why I didn't see it when I was already at the bottom, Mila. And I didn't see it. Unless he hit enter right before I started scrolling up to try to see if I missed anything. Alrighty. So, yeah. But yeah, that's step 2 is the most excellent one to be able to skip. By the way, Jack. So that, I mean, not having to do step 2, that is the most fabulous thing. Resident Emotion 428 side hustle balance question. Hey y'all, hi guys. I am, I guess, looking for words of encouragement from folks who are doing lots of side hustles and have little to no time. Well, if you are in debt, then you don't need to be having time to do things. You got to sleep and work. That's it. It's not forever. It's just for a hashtag season. I'm a social worker. I work 40 hours a week at the hospital and make $38.20 per hour. I'm also doing my master's degree part-time right now. I have a sick dog. Has some additional needs. Excuse me. Sleepy. Got up at 7 a.m. this morning. And I went to bed about 7 p.m. last night. So crazy sleeping. Gonna have to fix that when I get a real job here soon. Some additional needs that can take more of my time. I was given the opportunity to join a group practice and take on 10 clients per week at $100 per session with a bonus of $7K for every 175 hours. Great. I have to take on at least 10 clients, so would need to do this evening and weekends. Yep. This would be an additional $4K of income per month, minus taxes. Sure. Government do take a bite, don't she? And would cut our debt payoff time to basically 8 months instead of 2 years, which is insane to think about. It's insane to think about not doing that. So you would have to do that for at least 8 months, but you don't have to do it for 2 years. So commit to doing that for 8 months and then you're fine. And then you can stop doing that. You can stop working extra unless at that point you've gotten used to it, and then you can do your full emergency fund faster because of you continuing to work extra. The thing is, I'm really worried about burning out because I would be working about 60 hours a week while completing a master's degree. Now that's not going to be easy for sure. When is the master's degree going to be done? I worry about not having time to take care of my health, be active, and do all the things that I need to do. Well, if you don't have time, you don't have time. But do something. Get a different side hustle then. I mean, that's probably going to be your most lucrative one, even if you got multiple side hustles that you could work on in time that you had available that are much more, something like DoorDash or something like that, where you decide exactly how many minutes to work and when to work, etc., etc. What would you do? I would try to do that probably at least. Or at least really think about it, spend a lot of time thinking about it, seeing how your average day, average week will go to see if you think you can do it. And no, there's not an option of taking on less than 10 hours a week. I figured that already by the way you worded it, because you worded it correctly. Good job. That's the minimum to come on. Yeah, and I wouldn't go over that. It sounds like you don't need to go over that, but just 10. But also you might get one cancellation a week too. That's easy to believe. But you can't count on that, of course. What would you do? I'm quite stressed overall because I feel like it's something I shouldn't pass up, but I'm terrified of burnout. Yeah, I mean, so the problem is people overuse that word burnout. I mean, of course you don't want to do it. You know already you don't want to do it. So I mean, that definitely can happen because you don't want to do it. And so sure, you can get burned out, but the average human can work 60 hours a week. It can happen. And so when you talk about having time to take care of my health, what do you have to do to take care of your health? What extra things do you have to do that other people don't? That I didn't when I worked 60 hours a week? What is it that you have to do? And be active. What does that mean? And do all of the things that I need to do. So, I would challenge this person on that and tell them to think hard about that, whether all of this stuff, some of this stuff is justification station to not do it, or if it's actually really, 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 really an issue. So that's what I would tell this person. I can't make the decision for them because I do not have 100% all of the information. But and also having a sick dog too. I mean, it's all, if you look around your house and your world and your life, you're gonna find all kinds of excuses that say you can't do it. So the thing to do is to get past all of those unless you absolutely 100% can't do it. But if you don't do this, you should still do something on the side to bring more money in. And it may not get you done with step 2 that fast. This was the one, right? 8 months, make 8 months instead of 2 years, right? So you would still need to do something, and you might not be done in 8 months, but you might be done in a year as opposed to 2 years. So you should still look for something other than your normal job so you can work more. That's how you do this. You work more and you spend less. And that's also what you could do. You can also make up some of the difference there by cutting out some crap out of your budget that you didn't cut out yet, because you thought it was 100% necessary, and you know darn well it's not. That happens all the time. Alrighty, after baby step 1, can I do baby step 3 and sinking funds at the same time? Yeah, you can if you have to. If the expense that you're saving the sinking fund for, say, let's just use the oil change thing in your car. If you are gonna have to have the oil changed before you have the full emergency fund done, then yeah, you got to do that. I mean, something small as an oil change, though, theoretically, you could just cash flow that, meaning you just take that, budget that for that 1 month. So, and sinking funds, you don't have to put it in a separate account, Jack, but if it keeps you from making money mistakes with the money by having them in the same account, then put them into as many accounts as you need to so you don't screw yourself up. Milo's talking about just to pay 600, something Jack asked about. Pay 600 and jump to 1500 next year is insane to me. What? Oh, is that talking about his apartment rent or something like that? That's what it might be. I mean, it could be property. If property taxes go up, if the valuation of the property goes up as well, then the landlord wants more money for it, for sure. What time is it? Oh my goodness. Hour and a half so far. Alrighty. Once again, I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solution Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes, you have financial problems, money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coach consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. That's in the ticker below, and also video description. You can email me about coaching questions or anything else on my YouTube channel or anything else on your mind. coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney or to CashApp at $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com once more. Also, super chats for lives, super stickers for lives, pre-recorded videos. It's called Super Thanks. Upcoming streams, the Ramsey Show After Show Monday through Friday, even after the replays that are coming up starting Monday through January 1st. I will be on after each of those replays. The only exception is if I'm invited to some kind of event or to a family member or friend's house for the holidays, theoretically, or something like that. If I'm home and it's 5:25 p.m. On a weekday, even if it is Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, if I'm home, I will still be alive. So generally, I've been doing that for years. And if generally there's not that many people in the chat, but if you're not busy, you don't have anything better to do than listen to me tell people they're doing it wrong, then by all means, join me. Alrighty, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. And of course, always make smart financial decisions every day.